Mic check. Welcome and thank you for joining me today. Today we are going to be looking at sort of publishing this React Native app that I threw together, and then maybe looking at the React Native documentation and making some updates. In the last stream we saw some typos, some bugs in the docs. Maybe we could help clean that up. So at the beginning of this stream, at the end of the last stream, I wanted to show this iPhone simulator, but it just didn't load well. But I have it loaded before the stream. It seems to be working, so I just wanted to give an overview. So I started off the React Native project. So I'm using the Expo framework. I ran Expo start, and then I chose to run the iOS simulator. After a couple of minutes, the simulator loaded up with my React Native project. And this is the same one that we saw in the last stream, but instead of it being on the browser, it's on this iOS simulator. So we have our home screen. I can click on this Go to To-Dos button, and it will bring me to the to-dos list. This makes an API call to a placeholder to-do API, and we're able to click on this input field, hopefully, or not. There should be an input field there. Yeah, there. I could say walk dog. Click on this add new to do item, and you see it gets added there. So it's very basic React Native project, but yeah, I want to publish this just to see what that feels like before working on a more serious project. There is something that I want to deploy to the App Store, and yeah, this will provide a lot of learnings. So to save my computer, I'm going to quit the simulator. I think I can probably, I'm going to leave this project running. I'm going to ignore all these errors right now. These weren't showing up for the web version. It might be something to look at on a real project. So I'm going to open up the documentation for Expo. Deploying. So I briefly looked at this before the stream, and I think what we want is building standalone apps. So let's check that out. So from what I understand, there is an entire process to publishing to the iOS App Store, but you are able to publish test apps that other people could play around with before publishing to the general public. And Apple has an app called, I believe it's Test Flight. Let's search for that. Test Flight. Yes. So there's an app I could download on my iPhone that lets me, called Test Flight. And I believe it lets me play around with my app before publishing it to the App Store. So I think today, just getting the app to Test Flight is going to be a huge one. So let us read through this documentation. Deploying to app stores. Yeah, depending on how long this actually takes to get to Test Flight, if it doesn't take a long time, maybe I could just try deploying to App Store. If not, I'll probably do that offline. Okay. To create one, so it looks like we'll have to create an Expo account. So I think it's safe to shut down this development server. So it says we have to sign up for an Expo account. I don't think I've done that yet. I hope that somewhere along the line it will prompt me to create one. So I'm just going to skip step 1. Let's hop over to step 2, configure app.json. The iOS bundle identifier, Android package fields, use reverse DNS notation, but don't have to be related to a domain. Place it with whatever makes sense for your app. So I'm just going to include the iOS. So this iOS field is inside the Expo. Okay. And what should we name this column? I have a domain. I guess I'll just use that for lack of anything else. React native test. Build 1.0.0 looks good. Your app name. So it looks like I could have space separated words. So React native to-do list. Slug is the URL name that your app's JavaScript is published to. For example, the community is my username, native component list is the slug. Slug is a URL name that your app's JavaScript is published to. Yes, no idea what this means. There are other options you might want to add. Configure their own build number. Yeah, so this slug thing, do I have that here? Yes, I do. Yeah, I'm not really sure. Are we supposed to host these JavaScript files somewhere? So let's go back to that. I feel like that's going to bite us later. If you don't already have a packager running for this project, when you run expo build, expo automatically publishes your app. In order to avoid publishing changes, you may want to use release channels. Okay. If you choose to build for iOS, I think this is what we want. With the simulator build, you can test your standalone app on a simulator. If you want to publish your app to the store or distribute it with tools like TestFlight, you have to use Archive. Yeah, so let's try simulator first. I imagine that this would build our app, open up the simulator, and have our React Native to-do list installed as an icon. And this just might break our screen. But let's see. Let's see how intense this script is. Oof. Yeah, and I don't have my Apple ID. Yeah, I don't have any of this Apple developer account set up, so I might have to do this too. Expo Build iOS currently only supports managed workflow apps. If you proceed with this command, we can run the build for you, but it will not include any custom native modules or changes that you have made to your local native projects. Unless you're sure that you know what you're doing, we recommend aborting the build and doing a native release build through Xcode. Would you like to proceed? Nothing to lose. Okay, how would you like to authenticate? Yeah, okay. Let's make a new account. Okay. So, just switch this as I attempt to create a new account. Okay, needs my email address. Okay, let's sign up for this Expo account. Okay, account created. So let's see, log in with Expo login after, okay, Expo login. So I'm just logging into the CLI right now, and perfect. So what do I do now? So now I'm logged in. Let me try doing the Expo build and see what happens. We're going to proceed. Build is not installable on your simulator because of is damaged and can't be open. Please run this command. The quarantine thing makes me feel very safe. Project may contain uncompressed images. Okay. So now it looks like it's just bundling a React Native project. And let's look up this managed workflow. Expo. The managed workflow is kind of like Rails and create a React app, but for React Native. Apps are built using the CLI. Expo tries to manage as much of the complexity of building apps for you as we can, which is why we call it the managed workflow. A developer using the managed workflow doesn't use Xcode or Android Studio. They just write JavaScript code and manage configuration for things like the app icon and splash screen through app.json. The Expo SDK exposes an increasingly comprehensive set of APIs that give you the power to access device capabilities. Okay, so it's sort of like create React app, helps you build your project, helps you deploy it also, this we'll see. And if you ever run into any limitations with the framework, you could eject your app. Same like create a React app. What was an EAS build? EAS build. Hosted service for building app binaries for Expo and React Native projects. Okay. This scene webpage. This guy will learn how to build a ready to submit binary for a simple app. You should expect to have kicked off your build within a few minutes. Is this what I wanted? So what's the difference between this EAS build and expo build? What's the commands? Let's see. We did login, then we did expo build. Preview. So my guess is that this EAS thing, what does EAS stand for? Enterprise App Store. Expo. Expo Application Services. EAS. Okay. So there's a free plan, there's a priority plan that adds priority build infrastructure and support, build apps, easily distribute without waiting. Huh. To complement the open source Expo platform. Yeah, I don't know anything about the workflow. The workflow of publishing apps. So yeah, I'm just gonna wait for this Expo build to finish, if it ever does. Yeah, just have faith. If you choose to build, when building, I think in the meantime, I should sign up for an Apple account. If you like an IPA, what is this IPA? When one of your building machines is free, you'll start building your app. What? Download the. Alright, so this is what we're doing. Download the artifacts with the link printed when your build completes. And zip the drag and drop it to your iOS simulator. If you'd like to install it, open a simulator. To test the device builds, download the IPA file. What does IPA stand for? IPA iOS file. So that stands for iOS App Store Package file. Okay. Within App Store Connect, make sure you're now you need Xcode to upload the IPA. Wow. Okay. So right now there's a lot of waiting. No idea. Yeah, it's just a lot of waiting right now. Oh, I didn't even realize. Okay, we have a percentage here. So we have some type of feedback, so that's good. So I'm going to take a little break. I will be back in 5 minutes, and hopefully this thing will have finished. Okay, so it looks like something's happening. Build finish, successfully built standalone app. Huh. So let's open this guy up. So it looks like Expo saves or builds in the cloud. Interesting. Yeah, I thought it would just generate it locally. Okay, so that link downloaded this zip file. So let us bring that to our desktop. And let's go back to the docs. So what do we do here? So to run it on simulator, build the project, done, download the artifact, done, install. To install the resulting tar file, let's unzip it and drag and drop it into your iOS simulator. Huh. I just want to double check how to open iOS simulator. Open iOS simulator. Okay, what did I do? Is it supposed to look like that? Yeah, while I was typing in my URL, I don't know if I did something to a pop-up. So let me try unzipping that again. Yeah, that's just what it looks like. Maybe it's because I didn't have an icon. That's kind of interesting. So open iOS computer is slow. R. Yeah, okay, so I do have to go through Xcode. Okay, Xcode is open. So I think it's open developer tools simulator. Going back to the documentation here, it says to drag and drop that file that we unzipped into the simulator. So that's loading up. Right now I'm just waiting for this simulator to start up. Patience is a virtue. Okay, here we have the simulator, and the documentation says it's as simple as dragging and dropping this to the simulator. And yeah, not sure. So there could be a bunch of problems. It's just not working. So it could be that my unzip file is corrupted. Maybe it requires an icon. Oh wow. Or it was just a little slow. Wow. Okay, so I think this is it. It says React Native to-do list, sort of cut off. And it's cool that I put a placeholder icon there. But yeah, this is our app. So I could click on go to to-dos. I can click into this invisible input field and hopefully wait for the cursor to focus in. And this is why I want to try doing this on my phone, because I can't tell if the app is just sluggish because it's running on my computer, which is I'm streaming, I'm running the Expo app, the simulator, all that stuff. I would definitely like to get this onto my actual phone device through test flight. Okay, so yes, this looks great. So let's close out simulator. Let's close out, let me open the docs. Okay, so this worked perfectly. And as I was saying that I wanted to test this out on my actual physical device, I realized I could just run Expo Start and that QR code pops up. I should be able to scan the QR code with my phone and interact with it. So let's actually try doing that before I try to get this this on test flight. Okay, localhost, so that's good. And I might have to download an application on my phone. Okay, scan the QR code above with the Expo app or the camera app. So I have my iPhone out. Let me just try scanning it with the native camera. No usable data found. Okay, fair enough. So just with the native camera app, it doesn't work. So let me download the Expo app. I'm going to download the Expo app, try scanning the QR code again and seeing if that works. Okay, downloaded. Scanning the QR code. Yes. Then I get a prompt open in Expo Go. And let's try it out. It's asking to connect to my local network. Seems fair enough. And then nothing else. So let me try rescanning. Okay, now I get a prompt that says opening project. Cool. I'm getting a loading prompt similar to the one I had on the iOS simulator. And it says new update available, downloading. So it's just a, not sure if you could see just the white screen right now. Okay, building JavaScript bundle, 99.2%. Okay, yeah, so we have the app running. And yes, the input field, yeah, I'm not sure if it's the styling thing. The input field is a little finicky. But it does work. Yeah, that seems like a code-related thing. But I will explore that later. In the meantime, let's try to get this published onto TestFlight. So how do we do this? You can build, so we did simulator build. And I want to publish, if you want to publish your app to the store, you have to use the archive. Okay, so let's try doing that. So it's safe to close the server. And let us run this. With Expo, build, iOS -t, archive. And in anticipation for this, I'm going to download the TestFlight app on my phone. Do I want to proceed? Yes. So let's download TestFlight. Do you have access to the Apple account that will be used for submitting this app the App Store. So I think it's going to ask me for credentials. Yeah, so I will create those credentials. Oh, computer, work with me here. Okay, so let's set up Apple developer account. Apple. So I'm on developer.apple.com, and I'm going to try to just quickly create a new developer account. Sign into Apple. Don't have an Apple ID. Creatures now. Okay, so I'll just see if I could use my existing Apple ID. Okay, password. Okay. Okay, I think it's created. Let's try that. And let's type a little slower. Okay, it's logging in. So I'm just going through the login process right now. You have No team associated with your Apple account cannot proceed. Do you have a paid Apple developer account? Okay, so I have to set that up. Got it. Okay, so let's try setting that up. Okay, Apple Developer Program. I think this is $100 a year. Okay, enroll. Do it, Apple. Take my money. Start your enrollments. So it says there is an Apple developer app. I could use that. So let's do that. So I'm downloading the Apple developer app onto my iPhone, and that lets me enroll into the Apple developer program. And then the payments, I'm pretty sure it is $99 a year. It will be managed through Apple's subscription program. Yeah, so it's $98.99 a year. Really. Continue. Okay, so it needs my driver's license and state ID. Okay, so I'll be right back. Okay, so driver's license and ID. Back of driver's license. Nice. Submitting. So it's asking me for my entity type, just an individual. Subscribe for $98 a year. Okay, you're all set. Your purchase was successful. Beautiful. Okay, we are officially iOS developers. Um, so let me just try doing expo build with the archive. And after I enter in all my credentials, I will start sharing my screen again. But yeah, I was gonna say, I wonder if you have to pay per publish project as well. Like every submission that you have to the App Store, you have to pay a fee similar to something like Craigslist, where you have to pay per posting. Because otherwise, it makes sense for us to publish as many apps as possible and get that money. Cool. So let me share my screen. Yes, so I ran the same command, expo, remembered my credentials locally. It asked me if I wanted expo to handle all the publishing stuff, and that's a yes. Yeah, let's just let expo handle everything, because I have no idea what I'm doing. Team ID. Okay, so let's wait for this. In the meantime, so wait for it to finish building. So I assume what's going to happen. It's going to do the same thing it did for simulator. It's going to bundle up our React Native project into a zip file, and then instead of allowing us to download that bundle, it's going to send it somewhere to the cloud where the Apple App Store knows about it. And then I have no idea. Yeah, I thought maybe we could just go to our Apple Test Flight app and find our app there. But yeah, we'll see. Okay, we can monitor the build, and I'm going to open up my iPhone. Let's go to the Test Flight app. No apps available to test. Tap on the public link again. Contact the developer for an invitation code. Okay, so I have to get an invitation code and send it to, so I have to generate an invitation code somehow and then use it inside Apple Test Flight. So download the IPA file to your local machine within App Store Connect. What is this? I think I opened that before. Click the plus icon and create a new app. Make sure your bundle identifier matches what you've placed in app.json. Now you need to use Xcode or transporter to upload the IPA you got. And then IPA think this is an IPA. This little no icon thing. Okay. Once you do that, upload. So let's look at this App Store Connect. Click plus to add an app. Yeah, I just don't know what this does. App Store Connect. Okay, so it seems like a developer platform for the App Store. So I can upload my apps to the App Store. Maybe I could submit it to get published. Interesting. New app bundle. So let's just see, look at our terminal, see where we're at. Okay, while we are waiting for this thing to finish building, I think it's the perfect time for a snack. So I will be right back in 5 minutes. So I enjoyed a nice little brownie, got some honey mustard pretzels, and the build is still cute. So I was looking around here. So Expo shows this status of all the builds that are queued, and I assume it's just first in, first out, so we're waiting in line. It doesn't really tell us where we are in the queue. Yeah, does it tell us? I don't think so. And there's also a priority queue. I assume if we were on the priority plan. So I want to do at least most of the waiting offline. But one thing I want to take a look at is how to create the redemption codes for test flight. So my mental model right now, so I think what's going to happen is Expo is going to build a zip file of our native app, similar to what it did for our simulator. These icons over here. It's just taking, I assume it's quicker to do these apps because it doesn't have to go through Apple's, it doesn't have to sign the application with our credentials and all that jazz. But once Expo finishes that, once it finishes going through the queue over here, then we have pretty much the same thing here that we could download, a zip file. Then I think we go to App Store Connect, which is, it seems like a developer platform for the App Store, and I could create a new app. And I enter all this information. Skew is interesting. It's just for our purposes, our own personal identifier for the app. So we create this new app here. Then that doesn't actually upload that zip file anywhere. Then I think what we have to do, we have to open up Xcode and upload the IPA file. And I think that upload makes it available inside App Store Connect. And then I think from there, we are able to generate some type of invitation code for test flight once that's uploaded. So let's validate a couple of these assumptions. So I don't expect the queue to finish processing within the stream, but I think what we could do is just Google around for those future steps we plan on taking. So one thing I'm not sure about is upload IPA Xcode. Then hopefully in the next stream tomorrow, we are able to finish these. Okay, upload IPA file to App Store Connect. That sounds good. Um, that talks about automating the IPA upload process. I'm okay with doing it manually right now. So transporter, I don't think it exists anymore. At least that's what the Expo. That's what the Expo documentation say. Let's see. Oh no. Okay. Transporter is a thing. Transporter. Let's just go to the App Store. Look up transporter. Yeah, upload content to Apple. Got it. So we will, pathetic thing. Yeah, so we will try to use transporter to upload our content into the App Store. Okay, that makes sense. Then my last question is how to get the invitation code for test flight. So get test flight invitation code. To enable you. I think I'm just looking more generally for how to use test flight. Okay, so they're on. So judging by this screenshot, they're in App Store Connect. This is App Store Connect. Okay. So once we upload our app, hopefully there is this test flight tab. And from there, we should be able to send out, we should be able to invite testers using their email addresses or by sharing a public link. Yeah, I think this is everything we need. So let's, oh, this is green. Oh, okay, so it's saying it's finished, which is surprising. You can now publish. Okay, pleasantly surprised that this finished. So let's actually try going through this flow. Close out of Xcode. Don't need that. I'm going to create a new directory just to store these old files in case I need it. Cold React Native build. Move that in there. Now let's download the artifacts from Expo. So that's downloading. Okay, I don't need this queue status anymore. So now I just have to figure out App Store Connect. What are we going to do with you? So new app, iOS, and I think all of this we want to match with what we have inside our JSON file. So let's open up that JSON file. Name. The name of your app as will appear on the App Store. React Native to-do list. Primary language, good old US English. Bundle ID, sure. SKU. Let's just have it be the same thing as my slug. React Native to do native. Tamagotchi, thank you for the follow. Okay, so we're doing React Native to-do list. Oh, to-do list. Okay, user access. Okay. Let's be slow. User access. What are you? You can limit which users see this app in App Store Connect. All users will have access to the app. Users with admin. I mean, when it says all users, I assume it means all users within my organization. If not, so be it. So let's create this bad boy. Okay, so that's created. Now, make sure bundle identifier. Okay. So now let's download transporter get. Get this, install it. Okay, so let me install this. and I am downloading the transporter app. Which will let me upload. Oh, I forgot to show. This link over here. Whoops, let's close out of this. Yeah, this link over here. Yes. Yeah, I use that to download this IPA file. And once I have transporter downloaded, I should be able to upload this IPA file through transporter into the app, what do you call it? App Store Connect, which is some sort of developer platform. Okay. Prepare for submission. So today, just a lot of waiting. So after we wait for transporter to finish downloading, going to have to wait for our IPA file to get uploaded. But I think once those are done, we should be able to see our app in test flight. So transporter has finished downloading. Let's open this up and see how it works. Sign in. Okay. So it's asking for my sign in. And I think I've done more signing in and downloading applications than I have writing code, which is to be expected. Okay, add an app to get started. You can drag files. Okay, let's drag and drop. Let's see. Making IT MSP. IT MSP. A file extension, iTunes Store package. But where does the M come from? iTunes Store package. Okay. Ooh, is that it? Once you do, so I'm in the middle of the transporter step. So afterwards it's saying, once you do that, you can check the status of your build under activity. Activity. But where do you want me to go? Add app. Activity. Activity. Nope. Okay, I'm gonna wait for this to stop spinning, and maybe something will magically show up in the App Store Connect website. Oh, okay. Deliver. Yeah, let's click deliver. Verifying app. Checking app. Okay. And I probably shouldn't be staring at this spinner. But is there anything else we could do right now? I wanted to do some updates to the React Native documentation. Maybe submit a pull request for some of the bugs we saw. But I think it's best to wait until we finish with this little project. The React Native documentation will be its own project, because just exploring open source projects can be a beast unto itself. Yeah, it's just a waiting game right now. I'm trying to compare this deployment process to deploying a website. It's definitely different. With websites, you don't have a single gatekeeper. With native apps, like it's the App Store, everything has to go through that. But with the web, even purchasing URLs, there's so many different vendors you could go through, like GoDaddy, Namecheap, and whatnot. And then with the servers that you want to deploy to, whether it's Heroku, whether it's AWS, Google Cloud, there's a lot of competitors that you could choose from. With the App Store, it's just one process. You do have some choices and frameworks you could use, whether it's React Native, or building a native app with Swift or Objective-C. But you have those same choices in web as well. In terms of the actual deployments, yeah, I don't know if this is actually slower, faster. Because one thing is this verification, I'm not sure what's happening, but it's all being done locally on my machine, which could be slowed down because I'm doing the streaming and whatnot. Whereas if I deploy a website, all that code is getting pushed to the remote website, so to a server on Heroku or AWS, and then it's running all this stuff there. It's bundling all the files there, so it could be a little faster. But yeah, this is definitely an interesting learning experience. Okay, so what I could do, let's update. Let's update our to-do list here. We have 30 more minutes. So what are we trying to do here? Let's get rid of React Native docs. So what have we done? I think we've done a lot. Create. I'm not even sure what to call it, like an app. Distributable. So we did that with Expo. And right now we are in the middle of uploading distributable. And hopefully after it's uploaded to App Store Connect, we should be able to test it on TestFlight. Yeah, it's just a waiting game. Not the most exciting of streams today, but definitely doing a lot of new stuff. Yeah, while this is going, I did have a question about that React native input styling. Yeah, our input field was very non-responsive, so I wonder if there's something I'm missing that could make it a little more responsive. Okay, we're seeing some updates here. Uploading app, verifying assets with the App Store. All very exciting stuff. Okay. Container style, error style, label. Input with a label and an error message. Yeah, I wonder if that's text input or just input. No, I had text input, style. Yeah, I probably needed to give it a little bit of style. Yeah, if I go on the web, let me delete this. Yes. Now I give it some styling here. Yeah, so I just need to give it some styling. And I won't update my app with this for now. Like, I'm not going to rebuild everything just for the styling. I'll have it there just for completeness sake. So I have a text input style. Now I just have to go to my text input. It accepts a style attribute prop. I'm going to do styles, text input. Okay, where are we here? Uploading app, verifying assets with the App Store. Features that, ooh, okay. Oh, am I in mobile view? Ah, okay. So if I go into full screen view, I see the test flight. Upload your builds using one of several tools. Okay. So once transporter finishes, I should see my build here and hopefully be able to um, invite people to test flight. Okay, so I'll be back in 5 minutes, and hopefully this will have finished uploading, and then we could check out the test flight. Okay, it is uploaded, delivered, Valentine's Day, 11:38. Wacom, I don't need you. Okay, let's check this out. So refresh. Let's see if this build has shown up. Oh, nice. So we see version 1.0.0. Okay. Now what do we do? The following builds are available to test. Learn about build status and metrics. external groups, internal groups. Testers in this group will be notified when a new build is available at testers. Yes, select up to 100 testers. They will be invited to all available builds. Okay, add. One tester has been added to your app store. No builds available. View everyone you've invited to your app. Status. No builds available. Test information. About test flight data. Add build. Add build. So it's saying no builds available. Okay, let's think about this. I have version 1.0.0, but it's saying that this isn't available. Let's refresh the page. Yeah, I don't know if this box is supposed to have stuff in it. Crashes, screenshot, no builds available. So let me sign into my email, and maybe I'll see something. If not, I will Google around for. So another thing that could have been an issue is that I added a tester after I uploaded a build. Maybe I had to do it in reverse. Yeah, let's try to check that. Okay, just going to check my email and look for this test flight email. Yeah, I don't see anything related to test flight. I'm just going to double check and do a text search for test flight. Nothing. Okay. How do we debug this? First, refresh the page a couple of times. Okay. Test information. There's an icon here. Complete test information is required to submit a build for external testing. Okay, so maybe I have to fill this out. To start testing your builds, provide the following information. Beta app description. Trying to figure out test flight. Reasonable. Feedback email. gmail.com. Marketing URL. Let's just put my homepage. Privacy policy URL. Okay, so you just need HTTPS. Beta app review information. Provide a username and password so we can sign into your app. And leave this to complete your app review. Don't think I need this license agreement. Let's just hit save. See if that works. So it's still showing this warning symbol. Okay. So let's try filling everything out. I don't think we need this. Few notes. Nothing special. Anthony King. 5. License agreements. Beta test flight license agreement. There's something we could just copy and paste. Okay. Looks like all beta test apps tested through test flight. Let's just include that. Save. Okay, warning information is still there. To start testing your builds, provide the following information. So I've given you everything. And let me just make it full screen, make sure I'm not missing anything. Beta app review, information, license agreements, testers. Yeah, okay, so let's see. Test flight, testers, no builds available. Okay. Okay. Testers and groups, builds, click back to the testers tab. Okay, at this point, I'm done with Expo. So I'm just trying to get a test flight link. Add some builds to your tester group. So go to your testers group. What is a testers group? So I have to create a new external. Testing. You can add anyone to this group, and they can test builds. Builds may need approval from beta app review. Testers in this group. No builds have been approved for test flight building, for test flight beta testing. Yeah. Test flight internal group. No builds available. This was the same one I saw before. Build, not a new app. The following in the test flight UI. No build available. Maybe you forgot to send build for review before beta as shown in the picture. Takes 1 day. Where are they right now? You can add anyone to this group and they can test builds using the test flight app. Builds. Okay, I think that's the external group. Build. Add build. This is supposed to be a button. If we go here, add testers, build, add build. Build, processing. Processing. Maybe that's why. Still processing. Okay. Builds, processing. Okay, now this shows. So, yeah, let's wait for this. Yeah, I think this is a good way to wrap up the stream. So what have we done today? We've looked at the iOS simulator and saw our app working there. We used Expo to generate these IPA files, which seems like the executables for native apps. We were able to actually load this onto our iOS simulator, so we were able to see what the icon was going to be. We were able to open the icon and interact with the app with this distributable, executable. Then we used Expo to build another executable, but they did some magic where they used their Apple credentials and whatnot, and it built another one of these executables. We were able to use a tool called Transporter to upload our IPA file into this platform called App Store Connect. And this App Store Connect is a developer-facing platform to manage your everything App Store related. Right now we are waiting for our build that we see here, version 1.0.0, to finish processing. But I think once we finish processing, we should be able to, missing compliance. We should be able to send these builds to our testers. And hopefully in the next stream, we will have a working app that we can see on test flight. But thank you for joining.